Hello and welcome back to the Pub Test Podcast. We are back in studio, me and Tommy C. Chat all things footy and a little bit of EPL.
Yeah, the soccer started, but it's nice to see your beautiful face in person. You were very pixelated on the Zoom. Your internet wasn't the greatest. You're in the middle of nowhere. So yes, you were very pixelated. So nice to see you in the flesh again.
No more 5-second wait for response.
Yes, it was like, is he talking? Is he not? Do I go? Do I not? It's very convenient to have the Zoom there, but obviously not only is it, we're limited to a 39-minute podcast, but yes, the delays make it a little bit trickier. But
definitely delay your delay.
Yes, but other than
brain delay.
Convenient though, so it was nice to talk to you. Obviously, you missed the week before, so it was nice to talk to you again. But yes, back in studio.
Now we're going to talk about the EPL. While we're in England, have you heard any Riley stats?
Oh, he took 4 for 18 on the weekend. So he's not making any runs. So he started off like a house on fire with the bat, but he's not made. He got a new bat. He put in the group chat. He got a new bat yesterday. I'm glad because the old one wasn't working clearly. But he took 4 for 18 on the weekend. So he's almost finishing up in England. He's obviously got a bit of travelling to go, but in terms of his cricketing journey, it's almost finished.
Yeah, well, he's going to stay away from the finals because I think Geelong's not going to be there.
Correct. He's done well. He predicted that early. So I think when he booked it, I was like, we're going to miss Geelong Grand Final. Obviously, he knew more than we did.
Yep.
But then they're going to be struggling to make finals from here. But I still think they'll make it, but they're not going to be a threat.
Has he ever seen a year? Has he been in Australia a year that the Cats haven't made finals?
Yeah,
maybe one.
Be lucky to be one. He's been spoiled. That kid.
Fake fan. I'm still holding by that.
Fake fan.
Well, he hasn't had a losing season, so he's not a real fan.
No, that's not how it works.
Well, it is.
We haven't been able to see how real a fan he is, but
it's been very thin.
You can't call him a fake fan because we haven't seen him.
Tommy, when the Pies finished 17th or 18th that year,
17th,
the year they sacked Nathan Buckley, how did you feel about football? Did you enjoy watching football as much as you do now?
No, of course not, but I was still a very loyal fan. But no,
we haven't tested out that.
No, we haven't. It was the first because obviously Collingwood had been so good for so long. Whenever they lost, it ruined my weekend because we wouldn't lose that often. So that was the first year I got used to. You know what? It's not the end of the world if we lose. Now it's kind of come back because we don't lose anymore. But like, it was a period where I was like, it would generally like kill me if we lost.
You do realise there was only about half a season you shit house for.
We still finished 17th.
Yeah, but for half a season, and then next season you finished in finals.
Oh, so one season. Yeah, true. That's true. Now I'm back to being a spoiled fan. But yes, no, Riley is not a fake fan. I'm just
putting the radar.
Just because his club is bad doesn't mean he is a fake fan. We just haven't been able to. You're right. We haven't tested it.
Yeah,
but he's a loyal fan. He was panicking because his Foxtel subscription wasn't allowed to watch the game. So it was start of the game on Friday night. He was messaging me and he sent me a photo and it was like subscription ended. So he was panicking. But 10 minutes later, it's like we're back. It's all right.
Then Jeremy Cameron kicked 7 goals for.
Half of them from the car park, though. It doesn't count. Doesn't count. It was 5. He kicked 5.
We'll talk about them in a little bit, won't we?
Correct.
EPL update. That's what you want to do.
Yes. So it's, we won't make this a weekly segment because I don't want to start reading out scores every week. Plus, I don't get to watch every game because obviously half of them at the same time, and plus they're obviously like 3 a.m. in the morning. I'm not going to be doing that every morning. Started. So City's going for their 4th in a row, which has never happened before. They're red hot favourites to do just that.
Have they won it the last 4 years?
3 years. They're going for the 4th.
Oh, jeez. I thought it was like that was their first one before.
No, they won 3 in a row. Like they're that much better than everyone else. Arsenal made a season of it last year, which was good. They kept it close, which was a relief because the last few years before that were like dead rubbers. But hopefully someone keeps up with them. Arsenal have strengthened their side, which is good, and City have lost a few players, so they get to
Haaland, is he still there?
Haaland, he's a cheat code. He's a cheat code. 6 foot, 15, he just scores tap-ins for fun. But he has very nice hair too, long hair. So, but no, hopefully it's a bit of a season because usually we worry about City running away with it. But they won. They start off with a win. Chelsea played Liverpool and they drew 1-1 in a very entertaining game. But my prediction is City will win again, unfortunately. But as long as someone keeps it close, like Chelsea aren't going to win it. But as long as it's just not 15-point lead by Christmas, as long as it's close, which it should be. But yeah, who knows?
I was going to say That's my next question. Is Chelsea going to make any sort of indentation on the league?
No, they're excited. They're exciting to watch. You basically compare them to Hawthorn is a bit far because they're going to be more competitive than like we expected of Hawthorn. But a young, up and coming side. But then again, we signed some elite youngsters, like £100 million players over the weekend. Yes, players are going for $115 million, Fletcher.
Well, we got to talk about someone that's going for a lot of money.
Yes, and
Kylian Mbappe.
Yes, he's going to re-sign with PSG, which is bizarre.
He is going to re-sign with
Well,
PSG.
he was talking. Because he said like a week ago that he's refusing to play PSG, and PSG are like, well, then we are refusing to let you play because his contract runs at the end of the year and it allows him to go wherever he wants, and he wants to go to Real Madrid. but then PSG are like, we want to sell you. He's like, well, I want to wait for my contract to end. So PSG are like, well, it's not going to play you. So he wasn't going to play, but now for some reason he's backtracked. So he gets paid a lot of money.
Isn't he offered rumoured like $1 billion contract or something like that?
Yeah, he got offered to go to Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia's come out of nowhere and all of a sudden offering all these players all these stupid money. So he was going to get, I think it was something ridiculous. It was over $1 billion. It was something stupid just for a year because obviously at the end of the year his contract runs out. He goes to Real Madrid, but he turned it down surprisingly because that league's a piss take league. They're just getting all these old blokes on stupid money like Ronaldo and stuff. He wants to be more competitive, so he's turned it down. So it looks like he might stay at PSG, which will be so bizarre because for a whole year there's been a massive like dispute. So it'd be bizarre. But
is Neymar still there?
Neymar just left to Saudi Arabia like yesterday.
Oh, far
so I can't remember how much Neymar is going for, but he's like, it's something stupid.
Would you rather go to the MLS or the Saudi Arabia League? Say money. What would you... Okay, so I'll throw it up. Do you see this as Messi going versus Ronaldo, how they've both gone to different leagues?
Yes.
Do you like what Messi's done more, or do you like what Ronaldo's done more?
They're both kind of similar situation. They just get old... Because like MLS is known for a retirement home.
Zlatan.
Literally just get old blokes who were big names to play for a couple more years. So Saudi Arabia are trying to flip that script, and they're getting players that are a bit younger. So players that are big names, but they're not young, but they're like 27, 28, 29, and paying big money. So they're trying to do just a little bit better version of MLS. MLS get genuine old farts. So before all this stuff happened, you'd say MLS is better, but because it's hard because all the players have gone to only a couple of clubs. So it's not like there might be like 15 players going to Saudi Arabia. They're not at 15 different clubs. Yeah. They're all one team. So there's one team that's got 4 Barcelona players in it. So like the rest of the league is still dog shit. There's a couple of teams that are stacked. So it's bizarre. I think MLS is still better.
Is this good for soccer?
No. Terrible.
Do you reckon more players will, as money keeps going young, but do you reckon they'll move out of the Premier League, move out of the Liga and stuff like that, and move into it?
I'd like to think not, but
if they keep offering big dollars
money talks. Like money talks. You only have to go for a couple of years. You don't have to go there for 5-6 years. Go for a couple of years. Get your.
But even once a league,
back.
if they get 15 good teams there or whatever, then
that's their plan. It's to get to the point where like there's a couple of stars in each team, and then every team's worth watching. Yeah. Right now, it's only in a couple, but it's scary because once you go to MLS, you're done. Like, you're finished. But what these players are doing, they're going at 27, 28, and then it means that they can come back to a decent club in a couple of years' time once they've made the bag. So that's the scary part is players are going in their prime or only just past their prime, so they've still got time to go back. I'd like to think this is kind of phase and everyone will come back, but it's a lot of players are gone.
Yeah.
So who knows? But it's probably not great football, no, because it's some ridiculous money. Like, I'm trying to read here on the fly, but it's something like $338 million deal for Neymar, like Australian dollars.
Not that we play much FIFA, but it'll make foot drafts a little bit more interesting. Now you've got the Saudi league.
All on the Saudi, the Saudi league's playable all of a sudden. Yeah, it would make it bizarre, but Neymar's getting 169 million Australian dollars a year.
A year,
and apparently he gets a house with maids and stuff, and his cars. He has his own private jet whenever he wants. Like,
God,
yes. And they made, to answer your question before, they made a $328 million bid for Mbappe, but he turned it down.
Oh, sorry.
So yes.
Well, sounds like soccer's not going too well.
Well, yeah, Premier League's exciting though, but yes, it hasn't hurt the Premier League too much. It's more been other countries. There's been a few from the Prem, but not as bad. So that's what's scary. Is that a bunch of really good players go from the Prem, and then all of a sudden, it's similar to Live, where like it's good, but it's not as good as it could be because of the Saudis. But right now, it's not at that point. But I am scared it could. Hopefully, it's a phase.
Could be phased in. That's the problem. Footy. We've got to talk about some winners and some losers over the weekend. Start with the losers. Change it up, and because I want to get over talking about my side very quickly.
We're going to start with them.
Start with them.
Yep. I've just done a lot of talking. I think it's time for you to talk.
They're my losers. Obviously.
The Bulldogs. Playing at home.
Yeah, the Bulldogs. I mean, just shocking. And it's probably the last 6 weeks that I'm the most angry with. So GWS up by 36 points halfway through the third quarter, or just the start of the third quarter. Lose that. I know they had 2 key backs go down. There was an excuse there. Bevo again. Lost to Swans when the Swans weren't going very well. Those 2 games are swing matches. 4 less points for those teams and 8 more points for us to really ram home the fact that we should be in the 8, or at least probably should be in the 8. And the Swans game, I know they're probably better for 2 quarters. I'd almost argue the Dogs were better for 2 quarters. So kind of split that there and get the win. But on the weekend was putrid. Same thing, up 27 pretty early, 27 points pretty early. And then for the next 3 quarters, just let the Hawks do whatever they want and run over the top. I mean, the young midfield, they were very good. Newcombe, Will Day, I'm missing a couple here, but Warple, they were all fantastic. Absolutely killed the Dogs in the Dogs' best part of the ground, which is their midfield, and would say that Dogs have one of the better midfields in the competition, and they just walked all over them. And therefore they had the 6 top disposal winning players, and then the Dogs had Ed Richards and Marcus Bontempelli, and then they had 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 Hawthorn. So they had in the first 11 disposal winners, they had 8 of them. So that's, or 10 of them. No, sorry, 9 of them. Yeah. I'm confused here, but just got walked over the top of, and I mean their season's probably not. They're probably not going to make it, and if so, they're just going to scrape in, as we talked about before this podcast started. They'll scrape if they scrape in. It may cover over some cracks, which I really don't want the cracks to be covered over because, as you said before the show, off air, they could have 3 All-Australians this year, and they're not going to make finals. That should. Name another side that's going to have 3 All-Australians.
Yeah, you're right. I'm thinking of the top teams. Collingwood won't. I don't think they... No. Collingwood might. The 2 Dacos brothers, maybe more. So Collingwood...
Probably not Josh.
Josh absolutely makes All-Australian on the wing. On the wing.
Oh, there's a few good wingers popping up. Goulden.
Yeah,
Nick Martin.
Martin's been playing forward, Fletch.
But that's the second thing. Dacos inside mids will get chucked out to the wing too.
Okay, yeah. If they don't play wingers, you're right, Dacos in trouble. But I think they will be. But that's another story. So Collingwood might only have 2. Melbourne won't have 3.
No, Gawn and Oliver should be in there, but because of injuries, they won't be in there.
Port Adelaide probably will. Rosie Butters. Yeah, probably 2. You're right.
Rosie Butters, no one else.
And Brisbane won't have 3. And
Dunkley, Neil
might be lucky. So even they'll be lucky to get
Harris
3.
Harris Andrews.
So they're a top 4 side. They'll be lucky to get 3. And you can go list that sides. There's no club that can pencil in 3 All-Australians. Dogs can. I think the Dogs can. I think Libert will make it. That's a concern, Fletch.
It's putrid. It's absolutely putrid. It's got to be something that's
and
got
the 2 key forwards have combined for 80 goals, 75 goals. Norton and Norton's kicked 40. Jamara's kicked like 35.
They've come along. I don't blame them. They're under 22, both of them. So it's a fair bit of weight lean on them. But at the same time...
You're not lacking the forward line. It's not the forward line.
It's a defence. Let's be honest.
It's a structure and defence.
I've seen we've gone... Okay, we'll just leave that for a moment. But, this is putrid. For the last 6 weeks, what have gone on... I want to make finals.
It's more than 6 weeks.
It's more than 6 weeks.
You've won 4 of your last 11, and those 4 wins are North, Freo, Essendon, and there's one more. Hawthorn? earlier?
No, a bit. Might have been Hawthorn, yeah.
Richmond, the other one. Everyone's beating those sides.
You're not wrong.
So they're not good wins.
I hate the word review.
Something that's happened, though.
Because they're always reviewing. Every game's being reviewed. Everything's getting reviewed. It's a high intensity vibe. It's always being reviewed. But there needs to be some sort of external...
You almost have to miss finals.
Check.
I honestly think you have to miss finals.
And the second thing, I know Dim wouldn't come as an assistant coach, but they've got to seriously consider looking at going after Dimmer. If you've already put a lot of...
Too late now. He's signed today.
Get in the party somehow. You don't want to
today.
be in an Essendon situation where you try and go for it, doesn't work out, and then you're trying to work it out. But at the same time, you put a lot of money into this list. There's a lot of good pieces in this list, I believe. You've got to do something else. Like, there's got to be something going on.
Adam Simpson?
I can't see him leaving West Coast now. Maybe at the middle part of the year, yes.
Yeah,
but I can't see him leaving.
I think I think it's better for the club to miss finals because what will no doubt happen the last few years, you'll limp into finals, get absolutely murdered by Carlton, and you'll be able to say it'll be unlucky with injuries, unlucky with this, unlucky with that. No, you've been unlucky for the last few years.
There's no unlucky about it. We make our bed and we lie in it.
No, but the club will make excuses. I'm saying that the club
100%.
will think you're unlucky. But no, what happens is you go on a few-week patch where you play good footy, you're like, oh, top 4 chance? No, and then you go to shit. Every single year.
But even like 2020, we made the granny. We were 100% the second best side.
21? Was 21? 20?
21, sorry.
Yeah.
We were 100% the second best side in that comp the whole year. And yet we lost the last 3 matches and a few in between then. And dropped out of the 4. And it's probably the reason why we lost the premiership.
Because Bevo has become the master of the final series, but you just don't set yourself up well enough for finals.
Adam Treloar has said on a podcast, if we make top 4, we probably win the premiership. Because they were just cooked. They were cooked. And you can see it the way Melbourne just ran over them. They went from Tassie to Brisbane to Adelaide to West Coast all in 4 weeks. And played big finals. Yeah. If they turn that to 2, like Melbourne did, because they're in top 4, then they probably have a better shot at going after Melbourne. They probably don't win it, but they have a better shot at playing instead of getting ran over by a fresh Melbourne side. Yep. You know, so I think Bevo will still be there. The club isn't rich. They haven't got money. They signed him for 2 years, but they've got to seriously invest in around him.
There's an issue. Your best players like Bont's 28. He's still got a few years of elite footy, but
Libba's young.
Libba's 31.
Yep.
Libba's 31. McRae's 31. You sign Liam Jones. You don't sign a 33-year-old to be just a decent football club. You sign him to win a flag. You run out of time, Fletch. And the worst part is the next players. Who's the next players coming up? Bailey Smith is a shell of himself. You can't call him him in there. He might not even be at the club. Honestly, then you could request a trade for a fresh start. There's no one like coming up young players to trying to pass the baton over. Jamara's a freak.
Aaron Norton.
Your midfield champion. I'm not telling you for your midfield. Who's young in your midfield?
I don't know.
No one. So your midfield is an issue. So yeah, Jamara, he's a gun. Like I'm not going to try and say he's shown himself. He's announced himself. He's good. And Norton, I still think Norton could play defence.
I think he'd be a bit better defender, but he's not playing defence. He's openly admitted he's not playing a defence.
But he should. And Tim English is one of the best rucks in the comp. So you've got a couple of guns there, but your midfield is set for now. And I'm worried that in a couple of years' time, when you finally figure it out, it's too late. You can't be. You're not going to win a flag with a 34-year-old Libba, a 33-year-old McRae. No. You're not winning a flag with Treloar. Treloar is a walking injury. He's a waiting injury.
The only problem with you saying figuring out, it's been like this for 4 or 5 years. Like figuring it out has been 4 or 5 years. So, and like it's just ebbs and flows of making a premiership and then just falling off a cliff. Like it wasn't even there. Like, yeah, I think they've got to invest. They've done plenty of investing in their on-field, where they're making stupid trades for Rory Lobb. They've got to invest in their coaching staff a little bit. I look at Collingwood and who they've got behind Craig McRae. You've got what's his name? Smiles.
We've got Lepich and Bolton.
That's the one, Bolton. They've got plenty of ex-AFL. Look at Melbourne. They've got Chocker. They've got like plenty of ex-AFL coaches or really well regarded people in the AFL industry that can help take the weight off someone off their head coach. Like he can do all the media stuff and they can handle the behind the scenes stuff, or the other way around. Like Choco Williams used to do a lot of media stuff instead of Simon Goodwin. So I think they've got to help Luke Beveridge a little bit more, or they've got to get rid of him because one of the two is not working. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's a bake for him, but it's honest, and it's probably more frustrating from my point of view because I do believe they have the talent. I do believe they could be a top 4 team. I do believe they should be the gap between the top 4 teams and the rest. Like I do believe that some of their best footy, they should be up there with Carlton, pushing for that 5th spot and really challenging to say why not the Dogs? Why can't the Dogs win it? But they're absolutely nowhere that they'll probably beat West Coast this week. Oh, fingers crossed. If they don't, then holy shit. But they probably will beat West Coast, but they're not beating Geelong in Geelong, and they might scrape through as we said, scrape through on percentage. But is that a good thing? I don't know.
You'll get whacked by Carlton first week of finals. You don't much rather miss finals. You don't want to play finals. Carlton are going to bend you over.
Or Fremantle bent us over and it still didn't change anything. So I'm not going to say that. Your loser of the week? I'm
going to go different. I'm going to go player. Brody Grundy's my loser because he's getting dropped in his career. His AFL, well, not AFL career. His Melbourne career is done. He is not.
Port Adelaide?
He played. Yeah, I think he should go to Port, but he played 14 minutes of forward in the second half. To give you an idea, I think he played 16 in the first half, both quarters. 14 total. He basically either played ruck or he played 50% game time, Fletch. So he either played the ruck or the bench. No. And they are not doing that again.
No.
So we said it last week, he has dropped again. He ain't coming back in. They're not bringing him back for finals unless there's a few injuries. He will get dropped. I'm not sure if Ben Brown's in the VFL. I'm not sure who they've got the VFL. But yes.
I think Bailey Fritsch is very close to be coming back.
Yeah. But they do need, I'm not sure they need another key forward, but pardon me. But yeah, he will get dropped and he will be done as a Melbourne player.
Yeah, I like that. He's probably, it's a shame, isn't it? Who's should Brody have kind of seen through it, or should have Max really looked at what Brody Grundy really was?
Well, they kind of had an idea that Max be a forward.
I thought, yeah.
Because they had Brody Grundy doing more ruck, but I thought that Brody Grundy, they'd be able to do 50-50 almost. But Grundy has never been a good forward, ever. Even when he was his peak Collingwood. He's a midfielder. Yeah. He's basically a fourth mid. So he has to leave, and I hope he goes to Port because Port need a ruck. And also it'd be good because Collingwood will get off the wages. We don't have to pay his wages.
I think you're still part of it.
Apparently, if he goes to a third club, Melbourne do it. We don't do it. I remember hearing it somewhere. So I hope he goes. Not for that reason, because he deserves to be playing. He can't play VFL again, but he's not playing AFL anymore. For Melbourne.
For Melbourne.
For Melbourne. He's going to play AFL footy, not for Melbourne.
It's an interesting one. It's difficult. Melbourne lost that game too against Carlton. They look very good, don't they? Yes. Petrarca, goal.
Absolutely, it was a goal. Actually, we're going to talk the umpires later, so I'll say it for later.
Okay.
Or do you want to do it now?
Oh, good segue.
I'll do it now. Absolutely, it's a goal. That umpire blatantly guessed. He was like, I don't want to get abused from Carlton fans, so I'm going to call it a touch. No way he touched it. And Marchbank had no idea. Marchbank said, I hit my fingertips after like a moment of pause. But then the umpire said it might have brushed his forearm. So they had no idea. They guessed. They're like, oh, Carlton fans don't get abused. Let's say it was touched because it had to be touched. It wasn't touched. It was a goal, and it's cost Melbourne the game. But I just hate that we're going to talk about the worst ones on the Friday night. But I just hate that what's happening now is amazing games of footy are being not decided by umpiring, but the next day we're talking about umpiring calls, not like Collingwood. Collingwood's been on Friday. It was a great game of footy. Geelong came out hard and Geelong came home strong. But what are we talking about Saturday morning? Jeremy Cameron kicked 2 goals from the car park. The Melbourne Carlton. Carlton looked unreal. What a great game of footy, prelim final. What are we talking about on Sunday? Should have been a goal. It's happening so often now, and it's ridiculous. And umpires had a bad year. I'm an umpire, so I understand. I can feel for them, but they've had a bad year.
Now, how much is the AFL worth? I don't really know, to be honest with you. But
billions, surely.
Billions, do you reckon?
It'd be 3-figure millions.
If you're selling it, yeah, it's
definitely. It'd be nine figures.
And we can't have ultra high definition cameras on the posts.
I'm not sure. What other cameras seeing that, Fletch? What other cameras seen that touch?
Well, look how blurry it is. Look how blurry the photo is. Get some bloody 4K shit going. Start off with like, how hard is it? And then number 2, maybe try and look at a snicko or hotspot.
Snicko won't work. Snicko only works on the post, champ. That can't work.
But hotspot?
But how? They're attached to the post. Didn't hit the post.
No, like when in cricket where they hit next to the bat.
So there's snicker on the post, but it's attached to the post. It won't be able to detect touches. It can't.
You know where in cricket where they the little spot on the bat.
Yeah.
When the ball goes through, it's like heat sensing.
How can they set that up for touch on the line? They can't.
How do they do it in the cricket with an edge to the slip?
Pardon?
How do they do it for cricket with the edge to slip?
So they have cameras like outside the ground doing that shit. I don't know. But yeah, I understand what you're saying.
The AFL is a bloody multi-million dollar business.
I don't know how it worked. But yeah, that'd be ideal because it's decided a game. It's absolutely decided a game of footy.
And the same thing with the cameras. The cameras are obviously in the goals.
Yeah.
Pointing towards each tall post. Whenever they take a mark in the behinds, you can never tell.
Yeah, no, you're right about that.
Why not have a camera on the outside?
That part I'll agree with. Yeah, I'll agree with that.
Anyway.
Yeah, you're right. It's so blurry. How is it so blurry?
And do you think it should be a soft call or should they just, if the umpire doesn't know, just say nothing?
This is a good question because Waitley was talking about this on SEN. That if umpires don't know, they shouldn't soft call it. Because the only reason that was called a point fletch is because it was a soft call. If the umpire if the umpire says I don't know, that's called a goal.
100%.
That's called a goal.
Yeah.
So that's the only reason I was points because he soft called it. So he guessed. 100% he guessed. There's no way he had a touch. 80,000 fans. He didn't hear that. I refuse to believe it. But yeah, I agree that I think we should not scrap the soft call, but get the umpire. Waitley said it really good. Get the umpire to describe what he thinks happened on a tar because you don't want to talk about a paragraph, but say I think it touched this part of his body, because then they're looking out for it. Because all of a sudden, because otherwise we're like, what are we looking for? I agree that there shouldn't be a soft call if he doesn't know. He's forced. The umpires are forced to make a soft call. So
and that then persuades which way it's going to go.
Correct. Whereas I think if there's no soft call, that's a goal. That's a goal.
100% that's a goal if there's no soft call. If it's on the third umpire, wouldn't call. But the NRL do it very well, so maybe we should take some tips from them because they do a very good job. They're reviewing a lot, so it's a different situation, but I probably should look into what they do a little bit more because they do a really good job communicating between umpires and third umpire.
They do. We have to talk about Jeremy Cameron quickly.
Yeah, the handball out of bounds.
What the fuck? Actual fuck? How has the umpire fucked that up?
Just forgot a rule?
Literally, like anyone in Northern Football League, my league would know that. Like junior umpires would know that rule.
You're out of bounds.
How has he stuffed that up? I don't get it.
Like, what do you mean?
It's the most only thing I can think of is because the boundary umpire is meant to call, but I feel like I can too. But mainly, my thought is the boundary umpire may have thought that it was Cameron's kick, so close. He thought close was him bowling the ball back to Cameron to take the kick. Oh. That's the only thing I can think. That's the only justification. It's still wrong. I can still like
there is 4 boundary umpires and 4 field. Between the 8 of them, someone should have blown them. Was yay.
If Collingwood lose that game, is an uproar, Fletch.
And so there should be. Like, uproar. It's the most blatantly obvious.
Like it's not the cut one where like it's conjecture.
Yeah.
It's a rule error. Like look it up. It's not. That's not interpretation. That's a rule.
No.
Like and because the mark out of bounds. Did you see? Did you see the AFL try to bring out a different camera angle?
Yeah.
It does nothing.
It's
What I will say is I can understand their point of view that it probably looks worse because of the camera angle on the broadcast. It probably looks worse. But his feet were on the line and he was outstretched.
It's really hard because you saw a few kicks over the weekend. Their plant foot was out of bounds while they're kicking the ball. Have you seen them?
No.
Like Nick Blakey, he kicked the ball and he was kicking the ball on the left side of the field, obviously left footer.
Yeah.
His plant foot was on the line.
Oh.
So obviously his outside foot is well past the line. Nothing got called. There was like 3 or 4 over the weekend. But the camera angle, you can lose deception. So you kind of got to go with the umpire because he's the closest and he's the best position.
Yeah.
So
the mark one is just like, we're never fully, it looks really bad from where we are, but I can understand that maybe it's a bad camera angle. But the handball's unforgivable.
No, handball is like, what the hell?
Unforgivable. And if Collingwood lose that game, gee, Saturday's a rough one for the AFL. But we didn't, so. And speaking of Collingwood, I heard that you have met our winner. So I want you to give us our raps.
I had Collingwood winner. Nick Daicos went out, didn't know he could replace that. And Darcy Moore lost him pretty early, and
quarter time.
They're hiding that one that it's not a bad hamstring. I think it's a bad hamstring.
You worry about it.
Oh, it's a 4-weeker.
4. They were going to be 3. They're in his back of the first week. Because of the bye. Just by the way,
I thought it was 4.
By the way,
he'll play the first round, but it'll be
during the week underdone.
I think he's a week underdone.
By the way, pre-finals bye is a godsend. Nick Daicos and Moore both would miss the first final without the bye. So AFL, keep the bye. Thank you.
Yep, and I think that was fantastic the way they, they lost 2 players, but they're absolutely most important 2 players, and
they're 2 best players. And DeGoey was sore, was probably our 3rd best player. So yeah, I was impressed.
And the Cats have been moving. They're not the Cats of last year, but they've been moving. And you got the Chocolates, and they started well. They started really well early, the Cats. And so your captain goes down, the Cats start well, maybe just roll over and die a little bit. But nope, they showed a fair bit of resilience. And probably the first adversity that Craig McRae's felt, or really hard adversity, and he's dealing with it very well. So you're learning a lot about him now, more than what you've ever done before, in my opinion. So
yeah, I mean, it was a great win. I was a bit scared at quarter time when Cats kicked 6 goals, and it was looking like a bit of the same as the Carlton and Hawthorn game. Pardon me, about to burp. Oh, hope you didn't hear that. The lemonade's making me gassy. But I was a bit scared at quarter time, but I think we rattled off 7 in a row. And we looked good again. Our pressure was back, and we're just coming to the conclusion that we're going to have periods where we're going to look terrible because of that swarm pressure. It creates stuff at the back. So it's going to be some really silly looking goals. David King analysed it really good on first crack on Sunday. But yeah, I was really happy, and the fact that we did it without Moore, with Moore going down. What I would say is if Hawkins is playing, that would probably expose us.
Yeah.
So it was a little bit easier.
A little
bit easier when playing one key forward who is playing a bit injured. And he still kicks 7, but Cameron's shoulder complaints, not a big, tall key forward. But I don't mind that we get to see a Darcy Moorless defence. So it gives us an idea to have a look at Frampton as a key defender. And because I've been talking about how Moore tries to do too much, maybe a few weeks without him, we get an idea on, okay, our key defence stocks are good enough. Moore can play on that third tall and be released and try and intercept more up the field, because right now he's getting exposed as a number 1 defender.
That's interesting.
So, because see, Harris Andrews done it all year. Stephen May did it for a bit, but he played on Kerner on the weekend. But because right now Moore's trying to do too much, trying to play 2 or 3 players at once, but he's doing that while playing on the best player. And against the Port Adelaide, for example, get away with it. Marshall's still good, but he's not playing on a Kerno, a Cameron, playing on a really good one. I'm trying to think of Brisbane, Joe Danaher. You might get exposed. So I don't mind. It's coming at it's not the best timing, but it gives us a chance to have a look. So
still getting wins. Who's your win of the week?
I just want to quickly say on that, Chris Scott. I just want to spray Chris Scott quickly. If I have to hear him say our best is good enough, but we haven't found it one more fucking time, every week he says it. Every week.
They'll find it in the...
Hey, buddy, how about maybe showing it? Because you haven't shown it for 21 weeks. I don't get it. Yeah, you want a flag. Your best is good enough. We haven't seen it. Yeah. We haven't seen it.
Last year, your best was good enough.
So show us. It is good enough, show us. So that does my head in, by the way. But my win of the week would have been Collingwood, but I refuse to do Carlton. They're too good. I'm not doing Carlton.
They're too good.
Port Adelaide is my win of the week.
I like that one.
I mean, similar to Collingwood, just got back into some form at the right time. Their midfield looked unreal. And to score 136 on probably what you'd be able to say the best defence in the league in the last month or so.
Yeah, most
right now, they're the most informed defence. Now, they are playing at home. We know that Adelaide is a genuine fortress. But to do that to a good defence is impressive. So, yeah, found some form at the right time. I'm not sure. Where would you have them in your seeds, top 4? Where would you have
power rankings?
Would you have them in the power rankings? I would
live power rankings right now.
I'd have them 5. I'd have them outside the 4.
Melbourne 1.
Ooh, I wouldn't.
Collingwood 2.
Okay.
Brisbane 3.
Gee, if Carlton's on your 4, Fletch.
Carlton 4.
I'd be Collingwood, Carlton. I'd almost have Carlton above, but I refuse to put Carlton above. Collingwood 1, Carlton 2, Melbourne 3, Brisbane 4, and Port 5. But they look good again. Pardon me, jeepers. They still have to finish top 2. They have to finish second.
Port, or they're not finishing second. Brisbane's getting second.
Well, then they're not getting damage. They have to play. They have to play 2 games in Adelaide Oval, and I'm not sure they'll do that. They won't beat Brisbane. Are they going to? Is it? I haven't looked later. If they have to go to Brisbane or the G week 1 of finals, they will not.
I don't know if they finish there, but I'm pretty sure Brisbane's got an easy run home. They're finishing second.
They play Collingwood this week, so.
Not them.
But I think they finish easy though. You're right. But yeah. So for me, it is Port. I still don't think that. I need to see another week of that, but it was promising because they were struggling for that.
Definitely. Right, retirement has happened. We had Trent Cotchin last week. We didn't really talk about him because of the short pod. Trent Cotchin last week. Luke Shuey, Nick Nat today. Jack Riewoldt. Who else? Shannon Hearn.
Cunnington.
Ben Cunnington, who played a fantastic game.
Hearn retired. I forgot about that one.
Yeah. We had a little bit of debate in our group chat. I'd love to get your thoughts on the pod. Jack Riewoldt versus Tom Hawkins.
So Hawkins isn't retiring, but
No.
Dan made a big point of it. It was like a couple months ago. We're at the footy. We'll go on the Dogs Saints game. So we're having dinner at Schnitz, and Dan had all these stats for Hawkins versus Riewoldt. So literally a page full of stats. I wish we should have grabbed them off Dan before we started the podcast. But I'll get out what Jakey put in the chat today. But who you got? Hawkins or Riewoldt?
I got Jack Riewoldt.
Do ya?
Yeah, I wouldn't have probably said him 3 or 4 years ago.
Yep.
But I guess the team success has capped off his career really nicely.
Yep.
Like he had the early success of his goal kicking ability. Was very good at slotting the goal and won the 3 Coleman, obviously. But then I think he won a Coleman in one of their premiership years, maybe like 2020 or something like that, while also winning in a winning side. So, and if you sit here and tell them to say you got to pick one of those two to lead your side or in a game or whatever, I'd probably pick Jack Riewoldt.
Really?
Yeah.
I'd pick Hawkins. So, Jakey put in the chat, both 3-time premiership players. Hawkins has 1 Coleman to Riewoldt's 3, but Hawkins has 5 All-Australians to Jack's 3. I haven't got... They're both 11-time leading goal kickers for their club. I think I saw on the coverage that Hawkins 11 times, 11 in a row. This year's the first year he's not going to win it.
Oh, really?
In like 11 years. He's on the last 11, but Cameron's going to overtake him now. He's injured. Only reason why is because he got injured too. He would have won it if he kept playing. Hawkins 1 BNF, Riewoldt 2. I haven't got the goals, but obviously Hawkins has 40 more assists, but I think Jack has a few more goals. I'd go Hawkins. I don't know. Maybe I guess Hawkins a bit more of that big key forward. I don't know, but maybe it's because I don't like Richmond. But
I think Jack's peak's better.
You reckon?
I think Tom Hawkins has been more consistent over the years. Probably easier with the winning side.
I was going to say that Jack, you have to remember Jack was in a bad side for a long time. So
Jack's peak though was pretty incredible. Hawkins just always been doing it.
He has, and as you said, in a better side, it's a lot easier. I like Hawkins a little more. Maybe it's probably because I just don't like Jack Riewoldt. Well, I do now. I hate him on field, but I like him off field. I like his special comments, but he was just a bit of a prick on field. But no, for me, Hawkins but gee, it's good debate in here.
It's eerily how their careers have gone eerily similar. Like they're almost identical. 11-time club goal kicker. 3 Colemans each.
Hawkins should get the similar amount of goals.
3 premierships each.
Because I think Jack's about 30 odd ahead. And I think
it's not different.
Yeah, you're right. It'll be very close. So it is scary. Whatever Jack's got one up on him, accolades, Hawkins matches him. Yeah. Another one, so that Jack's got 2 more Colemans, but Hawkins has 2 more Australians.
Yeah.
So it's eerily similar. So, both, obviously. Hawkins probably has another year left. He's not retiring. I think he'll go 1 more year, but... Yeah, Jack's had a fair career.
You reckon he won't retire this year, but you reckon he'll go one more
I reckon he'll go one more.
next year. So next year?
Yeah.
And then he'll go.
That's my guess. He's still playing good footy. He started off slow, but was clearly injured. He's back half, he's been very good, Hawkins.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Best midfielder to retire this year? Trent Cotchin, is it?
Yeah, it's Cotchin. Again, I don't know why I don't like Cotchin. Making it sound like I hate all the Richmond players. I don't hate all the Richmond.
Shuey's been very good, but just not in the Melbourne market. He also hasn't won the premierships.
We don't see, because he's a West Australian, we don't hear him very much, whereas Cochin was a captain for one of the biggest clubs the biggest club in Victoria.
It would have been nice to see Shuey play, obviously in Melbourne, but not without the hamstring issues.
His body's let him down.
Because the last 3 years, all you know him as is just a 3-game player that can only play 3 games because his hamstrings just destroy him. So it would have been nice to see him play with a bit more consistent footy.
Correct. I did see it because I listen every Tuesday night. They have the champion data guy on SEN.
Yeah.
And he's Norm Smith against Collingwood was rated like a top 5 grand final game ever.
Ever, yeah. He was incredible at that.
It was like 35 touches, a couple of goals. It was unreal. Like 18 tests of possession or something stupid. So it's top 5 game ever in grand final. So yeah, and we can't forget Nick Nat either. It's hard because we just haven't seen him for the last few years, but he's arguably one of the better. Like if he wasn't marred by injury, he could be one of the best rucks ever. He's peak.
Yeah.
In terms of just pure talent, he's so good.
Yeah, his peak was just the most dominant.
Yeah.
Nothing like any other. Because it was just so...
He was jumping over blokes.
Yeah.
He was jumping over rucks.
Yeah. It was incredible the way he could just get up there and put the ball on a platter for all these midfielders. And they didn't need to worry about getting the ball to the outside of the stoppage because it was already there. He would just knock it out there and put it right in front of the runner and run pretty much into goal. He would do it himself. So, yeah, he was pretty incredible. It would have been... Unfortunately, his body, as we said, just couldn't do it anymore. But what can you do? Speaking of Richmond, in Jack's press conference, he said, what was it? I can't exactly remember the exact words to quote, but it was like, let this team or list regenerate or something like that. Is that him say? Is that it could be? It's a throwaway line. Let's be honest here. But do you think Richmond's made the right call in bringing in Taranto and Hopper and sacrificing the next 2 years with drafting, especially they not made the finals this year?
It's a hard one because it looks.
It's tough. I'm leaning towards they have made the right call.
Ooh, okay.
They have made the right call in getting Taranto Hopper.
Yep.
But if next year, I'm holding it on, Tom Lynch hasn't played. And I am absolutely holding on Tom Lynch hasn't played. If they don't make it next year with Tom Lynch playing, then I will retract my statement and they made the wrong decision. Because I'm not... Even though Taranto Hopper are young, they're 25 and 24 or
so
25 and 26.
You're predicting that they'll bounce back next year and be top 4 side?
Pushing for top 4. It's going to be very tight at the top end next year, like it is this year. So it's hard to get back into that 4. But yes, there'll be every bit of a threat in the premiership race.
I'd lean towards siding with the wrong call. I don't like that they did it for 2 players. Like, I understand why, because you're getting 2 players, same, you assume mates, same club. Like 25, 26, I think they are.
I think they are, yeah. They've still got plenty of footy ahead of them.
But, so they made that call thinking they were pushing for the flag this year.
Yep.
How much of their missing the finals is Tom Lynch based? How much do you think it is?
It's a fair bit.
How many wins do they have this year?
9 wins.
So you're telling me... Where is it? Should have got ladder up.
I do believe that Tom Lynch is a
9
massive key in their side. Like, Jack Riewoldt had to play... He's retiring, and he's had to play one out as their only forward.
I'll give you that.
Their defence has really let them down the last couple of weeks, but has been solid most of the year. But these two, I think, are good enough to push for a premiership. Yet to see that they're the reason why they'll win a premiership. If you know what I mean.
I had them 4th, so it's easy to say in hindsight, Richmond were never going to push for the flag. I had them 4th. So I obviously thought the inclusions were good enough to push for the 4. It's just 7 years, they get up a lot. And I'm worried that I don't think they'll push top for next year. I think they're kind of a bit of a rebuild. A little one. Not like they'll push the finals next year for sure. So it's not that kind of rebuild, but I can't see that they're nowhere near the top 4 next year.
But the top 4, you could extend to be a top 6 next year. If you go off this year's form right now, Collingwood, Carlton, Melbourne, Brisbane, Port Adelaide.
That's 5 straight away.
That's 5.
Sydney won't be as bad again. So you're right. That
Sydney or Geelong.
the top 4 is going to be like really hot. So
It's
you're
going to
right.
be a hard top 4.
So Richmond don't have to be. Like Richmond have to be so good just to be in the.
Yep.
7 years is a lot, Fletch. So if you, I don't think they're anywhere near the finals, the top 4 next year. So you're saying it's at least 3 years away. They're going to be
Probably.
28, 29 by then.
The other thing is they've given away the next 2 years of drafting, and when you look at their list, it's 26 and above. It's 24 and above, which I understand is a premiership window, but give it 3 or 4 years and they might feel the pain from not drafting this year.
They've got some young kids coming, but yeah.
They're 22 plus. They're 22 plus, and they're not your high end.
Well, your Bowers, your Banks, your Ralph Smiths.
They're not your
Coulthard.
high end.
Well, not
Ralph
yet.
Smith's been around for 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
He's probably 22.
Bauer and Banks are right, and Miller. But yeah, right now they're very like. That's why I think they can't be anywhere near the 4. So it's hard. In hindsight, we can say it was a bad decision, but I thought they'd push for. Well, I thought they'd be in the top 4. So I don't hate it. I probably wouldn't have done it on 2 players though, because they've given up everything. They got nothing. I would have had some little contingency, but I guess that's what you have to pay for. Well, hopefully short-term success. But no, I don't hate it. Like, it looks bad now. I know Kane Collins is big against it, but I don't hate the moves. 2 players from the same club that are proven guns. They were both proven guns.
Hopper
was man all
Not
strength
gun.
squad. Man all strength squad is what they needed. I think it's what they needed. And Taranto was just starved of opportunity. So I liked it. I liked it. I was scared of it when it happened. So I can't go back now and say I don't like it because I was scared when it happened.
Fair enough then. So you're saying they made the right call?
Yeah, I probably would have done one, not both.
So they did make the right call.
They made the wrong call on one of them, not both.
Which one? Hopper.
But I mean, Taranto is the worst kick in the AFL. So I don't know. They're both bad kicks, to be fair. I just think I wouldn't have given up all my draft stock for 2 players. I would have done one of them and had a little bit like.
You had to give up 2 draft. You had to give up 2 firsties for them. Even that was cheap.
Each, but they had to do 2 for each or something, wasn't it? Or was it 2 total? It was more than 2.
I think it was 2
wasn't
total. 2 first.
It was at least 3. Wasn't one of them worth 2? One was worth 1.
I thought it was 2 first rounds and then seconds after that or something like that.
I would have tried to give away 1 first and get 1 player.
Would you have given up like a Solo hasn't even played this year? Would you have given up him?
Yeah, should have. Yeah, should have. Yeah, because I wanted him. Because I needed a ruck at the time. Yeah, I would have kind of get 1 player just to have a little bit. Because what happened now? They get one of them. They realise they're not as close. They think they are. I've still got this draft pick to kind of bargain with. No, I would have gone for 1. So I think it's a bad call getting both, but I don't hate it because I said I was scared when it happened. So
Ken Hinkley got a new deal 2 years. They had to re-sign him after the season they had, and just on the brink finals, it pretty much put him in a box or in a corner. They've done it 2 years. He'll probably be out of the job after 2 years, and they'll have an assistant coach coaching. They've got a very good assistant coach there.
Josh Carr.
That's the one. He'll probably be coaching him.
Yeah, had to do it. Like, that was an obvious one. They should have done it ages ago, but I guess they did commit. It would have been bad if they didn't re-sign him now. Would have ruined their final campaign.
Flat after losing all those games in a row. Flat they would have been. Correct. Harry Mackay has reportedly named himself in the squad this week.
He's going to play.
He's going to play. He's fit and healthy, ready to go. Do you think, with the recent form of Carlton, that Harry Mackay could be seen as a bit of a Brody Grundy if they lose this week?
I was hoping you mentioned Brody Grundy because I know you said it to me before the show. No, he's not a Brody Grundy.
If they lose this week, do you reckon he could be seen as a little bit of a Brody Grundy?
That is kind of they kind of. When you say that, I think upsetting the apple cart to fit him in.
Yeah, as in they're picking talent over what the system needs. What the Dogs have done for a long time.
It's scary. Like, I think I would agree with your sentiment if they bring him in for a small. They bring him in for Pitnet. No.
Well, they're not bringing him for Pitnet. Pitnet's staying.
Well, apparently a few weeks ago, Vossi sees a lock, and DeConning nullified Gorn really well.
DeConning's been very good.
Apparently he was good against Gorn.
He's been good.
So I'll agree with your sentiment to some extent if they bring him in for a small. If they drop like a Fogarty or a Cunningham for him, these are the guys that have kind of orchestrated them. Cottrell.
One of those are out.
Yeah.
And they're not dropping Mark Pitnet.
Correct. In fact, a few weeks ago, Vossi sees he's undroppable. So you're right. If that happens, I'll agree with your sentiment. I know obviously there's a little bit tongue-in-cheek in that. Next Brody Grundy.
I don't totally believe in it, but
No, a little bit tongue-in-cheek, but there's something to it for sure. Yeah.
Like, it's something that it's really interesting. Like, picking the system over the talent. The Pies have definitely picked the system over the talent every single time. I know there's not massive talented players in the VFL right now, but it's helped that some of your talent's been in the forward line where you needed it. But I don't know, just Melbourne have now put this scoring round together when they picked the system over the talent.
Well, it's a little bit different. But Given was a revelation last year. He's been dropped for a while. So Collingwood aren't afraid to make the big calls.
Yeah.
Grundy, the D's dropped Grundy. They're not afraid to make the big calls. It's if they drop him for a small, I will agree with your tongue-in-cheek
Motlop had
sentiment.
6 touches on the weekend. He's gone.
Which he shouldn't be. He can't be gone.
He's kicked 3 2 weeks ago, and then I think 2 the weekend before or something.
But
So
smalls aren't going to kick big bags. But yeah, I agree. No, if they drop a small for him, yeah, I hope they do, because I think it'll affect the apple cart a bit. It'll upset the apple
Ed
cart.
Kerner had 2 touches, but he was a sub.
He's a sub, so he'll be the sub again. So yeah, I hope they do it, but they shouldn't. So I think the only way they should bring him in is for Pitnett, but they won't. They won't. I think the only way you pick him is if, I think, was it Buckley said it, that you can play, but you got to play 15% ruck and play Pitnett's role.
He's not playing ruck.
But he won't do that.
He's not playing ruck.
He should though. I don't mind it.
Yeah, he should. Like, it seems like a Joe Danaher, but you're paying him that much money. He's not playing ruck. No. You're not putting an asset like that in the ruck.
He's good around the ground, good around the mark.
Are you putting a 7-year or whatever he signed, 8-year contract
Be cool.
in the ruck
He's good around the ground.
to break your shin?
Well, that's for another day. But
Yeah.
he's playing. If they drop him for a small, it'll be a story.
If they drop him for a small and they lose, it'll be a story.
Correct. But he did, because Carlton's quick to mention, and maybe rightly so, that the few weeks before he got injured, he started to find form again.
Yeah.
But and apparently it started against Gold Coast. But it was also a 3-week sample size. They're saying how good he was. But what about the other 15 weeks where he was dog
But when
shit?
you're watching, like, on the weekend, it nothing really offensively changed. It's the fact that the ball just sticks in there. Like, it wasn't just ping-ponging back and out.
They're more dynamic. Dynamic.
They cover the ground a lot better. So,
They can't drop for a small, but they will. But they can't, but they will.
because you look at their midfield, you could say they're pretty one-paced. So I think having those half forwards that's speedy helps them. But then
Sharon Walsh back fixes that. They'll fix that. They're quick. They're Neum. They'll fix that.
Kennedy, Hewitt,
But then you've
Cripps,
got Dow. Dow's pretty quick. Dow's good.
He's not playing though. He's going to another club. I want to see him.
Well, he'll get dropped for Walsh or Chera.
He'll be at North or he'll be
Saints.
somewhere else.
Saints,
you reckon?
We'll go Saints, yeah.
Saints.
Saints need him. Saints are one pace as fuck too.
Oh, Saint Kills shit out.
Saints need him. Saints got that crouch, steal, they'll play quick. No, slow as fuck. They
See,
need Dow.
what's his name? What's their captain's name?
For who?
St Kilda.
Steele.
Jack Steele. He said like 2 weeks ago that the A graders have been playing their role, but it's all the rest. And then him and Matt Crouch didn't have a touch in the last quarter.
Yeah, you mentioned that.
Funniest
That was last week. You said it on the podcast last week, Jimmy.
That was so funny. Anyway, ladder predictor. What am I looking for?
Tips.
Tips for this week.
Tips. There you got there eventually.
Got there eventually.
Let me get the games up first.
Collingwood versus Brisbane at Marvel Stadium.
Yeah, we tried to get this move to the G, but we couldn't.
And so you shouldn't.
Why? Collingwood Brisbane should not be at Marvel. But
Well, I don't know why it is stuff with, but typical big club just trying to force their way in. Get over
There was a
yourself.
reason for, I think, that Collingwood tried to switch their game with Freo, but it meant that the week that Collingwood played Freo, it affected Carlton. So like Carlton were happy to do it, but it was affected the contracts and stuff. So, yeah, I asked my tips. I'll go ahead and say Collingwood. That Marvel, Brisbane. I've seen people say that David King reckons Brisbane must beat Collingwood this week to be a chance. Must.
As in chance of premiership.
Yeah, to be a legitimate flag contender. He reckons they must beat Collingwood.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to go Brisbane and a bit upset.
Brisbane,
I have more faith in Collingwood.
wash your mouth out.
I don't think you guys play Marvel that well.
But Brisbane don't play Victoria well at all, man. We can play it at Greensboro War Memorial. They'll be terrible on it.
Richmond versus North Melbourne.
Only reason people watch is because Jack and Koch.
How many turn up? 80?
You get a big crowd because Koch and Riewoldt.
If they don't turn with 80,000, then they don't care about those two.
Also at 145 on a Saturday. They'll get a good crowd though. I reckon almost be a sellout because of them.
100,000 at the G.
Yeah, they don't do that anymore. 58.
Richmond.
Yes, obviously.
Gold Coast versus Carlton. 2-10.
Carlton win this, they confirm finals. They've already going to play finals.
They are going to play finals. Carlton win this. GWS versus Essendon.
Giants.
Yeah, Giants. St Kilda, Geelong.
Footy. Good game. Footy.
This is defensive.
Close game, footy.
Yeah, but both teams are going to play defensive. It's going to be boring as fuck.
We should go watch 50 versus 50. Not the score.
Yeah, that'd be perfect.
Cats.
Yeah, I'm going to go Cats, but I can see St Kilda just doing something that St Kilda should
They looked
be
good
doing.
last week, Saints.
I know, but it's Richmond, so shit. Adelaide versus the Swans. This is probably Adelaide's season if they lose. And
both teams, if they lose, they're not making it.
I feel like Sydney could still make it. They're in the 8 right now, aren't they?
They are. Actually, yeah.
Sydney can still make it, but
Adelaide must win.
Adelaide's.
I think in my ladder pick last week I had Adelaide, and I think I'm going to stick with it.
It's Adelaide Oval. That's the only reason I'm going to pick them.
Yes, correct. I'm the same.
I still reckon the Swans can win this.
Of course they can.
Western Bulldogs versus Eagles.
Eagles.
No, there
Dogs. Dogs will win by a lot.
Melbourne, Hawthorn. Hawks. Let's go. 3-beat.
Hawks, man, they're looking good. Melbourne. But Hawks have caused a little few issues the last few years for the D's. Oh, yeah, said that right. So, yeah, it'll be close. It'll be close, but the D's will win.
D's. Fremantle, Port Adelaide. Up the stadium. Nah,
Port, but...
could be the upset of the round.
Yeah, I think this is the most likely to be upset. I don't. That was a lie. Port will win that.
Why'd you lie to us?
Yeah, well, I originally thought I was like Brisbane's a big upset, or Brisbane's more likely upset. But no, I'm rambling here. Port will win. Port will win.
Nice, mate. Nice.
Got there eventually.
All right, is that it?
I think that's everything to cover. Cover the soccer.
Supercoach.
Oh, we have to cover the Matildas playing tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
That's exciting.
You watched the penalty shootout?
Of course I did.
It was bloody awesome.
Did you watch the whole game?
I watched the second half. Didn't watch it.
Okay, I thought you were going to say you only watched the penalty shootout, because I reckon there'll be a few of us in our group that only watch penalty shootout.
No, second half.
I was like naming names.
It was actually a good game of footy. I don't know if it's a good game of footy, but it was interesting to me.
It's good. It's been unreal to see how much like the country's getting around them. Now, would they have known, and I'm saying, any of the players before that, outside of Sam Kerr? Probably not. But there's some... I knew Ali Carpenter. She's attractive.
Yeah, because of Will.
Yes, we got to make names Carpenter. Shout out Will. But yes, it's so exciting. Like, see, I saw these like vision on the AFL socials about the MCG bar going off, Optus Stadium going off. It's been grass. So they're playing tomorrow, or tonight, when you're listening to this, against England. So that is exciting. They are the underdogs.
Davey Warner say,
yes, makes it not going to change the ball. But England are the favourites for sure. But
it's good on a bit of a serious note on this. It's good. Like, hopefully they can get more televised game regular, because as we saw with like kind of basketball over the last 10 years, Joe Ingles talked about this recently. When he first started playing basketball, him and Paddy Mills, or not first started FIBA, Australia was shit ass. They, apart from Andrew Bogut, they had no Australians playing in the NBA. Now they have 8 or 9 playing in the NBA. It's a recognised sport here. There's a lot playing. It's not taking over, but there's a lot. It kind of is. It's a very good domestic sport to play. And the way that Australia has just embraced it because of this international success has really lifted it. And being on TV all the time. Hopefully, the Matildas can do the same thing. Yeah,
it's been the same with cricket. Women, the cricket girls, because they're so good. That's definitely grown the games. And this is because none of us would have known. Like, I didn't realise that half of Australia's side plays Man City, PSG. Sam Kerr plays for Chelsea. But bloody good players.
Yeah.
And the game isn't like it isn't. Well, all you see on socials is compilations of ridiculous errors, and it makes the game look comical. The game isn't that. The game isn't like
No.
Yes, it's not the men, but nor should it be. Like it shouldn't be the men.
It's never going to be the men. But
No,
that's
and that's not a bad thing.
and if you're watching it to be like the men, well, then you're
Correct.
you're watching the wrong thing.
You're looking at it the wrong way.
Yeah.
Though you see these compilations of these stupid goalkeeping errors. That's an anomaly. That is not, and that's not international sport. But it's different, and it's been really good. Like I've really enjoyed following it, and.
But a compilation, you can put a compilation together of anyone doing something stupid.
You can find that in the men too.
You can just... A 3-second clip doesn't justify or doesn't give understanding to what's happening.
No,
so
yeah, of course.
If you go watch the game, then you really know what's happening. So they've been fantastic. And
Correct.
love the way everyone's got behind them and like packed out stadiums. Not just like keep the cameras low because nothing's in the back row.
It's packed.
It's packed.
And then similar to the men's Fed Square going off and stuff. It's good. It's good. It's great for the country, and apparently public holiday if we win the whole thing. That'd be cool too. Apparently it actually is. Like we'll actually get a public holiday if Australia win the thing. Yeah. But Spain just won through just moments ago, so they beat England. They play Spain. That'd be pretty cool to win the thing and beat Spain, England, France. That's a good.
Just need the USA in there, and we'll. That'd be the best.
Bunch of frauds. Megan Rapinoe is the worst person on the planet.
Jesus, that's not a conversation off air. They're all good. They're all good.
Yeah, good episode. I reckon we're done. My mouth is dry from talking so much. Sorry, guys. Stop. You're being awkward. You're trying to say,
sorry.
been a good one.
So it's been
a good one.
Oh, it's been a good one, has it?
That's what you wanted me to say, wasn't it?
I don't know.
Stop looking at me. I'll do the outro if you don't. Final the outro. Thank you for listening. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, tell a friend, tell a stranger. And message Riley saying Keely looks good. His new bat is a brand Keely. Put in the group chat. Introduced it. Yeah, no, not a human. Okay. It's a bat. Its bat brand is a Keely. So tell him Keely looks hot. It's a bat, I promise. It is actually. This is not a euphemism. It's actually a cricket bat. I will show you.
Fair enough.
So, but yes. Thank you for listening.
Thanks for listening, guys.
See you later.